Hello everyone, and welcome to the Milner-Barry Gambit. This is an opening against a French defense. Before we start off, I would just like to say, this is a gambit. Engine's gonna hate you for playing this way, and that's just part of the deal. What I think is more important than the engine screaming at you, though, is win rate. And this opening does very well in that department. If you get to the opening on the board, you would have a 50% chance to win, and they will have about 44%. And if you know the moves and you're taking your time, you're not in time trouble or anything, I would say you have a 65-60% chance of winning your games, which is great, especially against an opening that I personally hate. I hate going against French defense. If they know the first 4 or 5 moves, it seems like they can kind of just play whatever in a passive-ish way, and it usually works for them. That's why I hate going against the French defense so much. Alright, yeah, so e4, e6, French defense, go d4, just controlling a lot of squares in the center, go d5, striking back, e5, it's known as advanced variation because we advance our pawn forward. They'll go c5, striking back in the center. We will defend our center for a c3 pawn. They will now go knight to c6, just, adding more pressure. We will go knight to f3, once again nullifying. And they go queen to b6, and this is where we get our gambit, bishop to d3. Now, at this point, they can't actually take our pawn, even though it is a gambit. If they take, this is the big juicy trap of this opening, you could say. You will go bishop to b5 check, attacks the king, attacks the queen. They'll probably go here, maybe take the queen. We're up a queen and we win the game. So they will not do that. What they will do instead is bishop to d7. Now, if I just play some random move, if all this happens now, this is not a check anymore. So that means they would actually just win that pawn. However, what we do instead is we embrace them taking the pawn. We let them take the pawn. We want them to take the pawn. We just castle. That's the point of a gambit, right? We get a lot of development, and we get these nice attacking positions. And also, as a quick side note, back here they can play bishop here, queen here, knight out, first, second, third, whatever. As long as they play these free moves, you're going to play the same moves as well. And there's really not much difference. Yeah, if I just go back here. So we, after they go here, we castle. And now they might just think, oh yeah, now we actually can take the pawn. And they can. This is the best thing to do for them. So they will take, whatever. And now we just go knight to c3. We just finish getting our pieces out. All they have so far is a queen and this sad bishop. That's all they have so far, and chances are it's all they're gonna have for a while. Now, in this position, there are only 2 moves that are any good, which is a6 and taking the pawn. Taking the pawn is actually a bad move, even though it is the most common move. The second most common move, a6, is the actual good move. And if they play a6, be prepared for more challenging opponent, because they probably actually know their stuff. If they take the pawn, though, which is what most people do, you are going to have a very fun game. Now, rook to e1. Now, what this move does is when this queen moves out of the way to any of these 5 squares, this pawn will be pinned, meaning that this d4 pawn right here, or sorry, d5, is extremely weak, and in almost all of the lines, you're going to end up winning that pawn. Now, I'll start with the worst move here. Here, queen to d4. I will give you a second to try and spot the move here, because I just think it's fascinating. Rook to e6 check. And believe it or not, this rook cannot be taken. They take the pawn, you get discovered attacked, win the queen. If they take the bishop, then you get discovered attacked the other direction. And then you win the queen that way, which is, I think, is very funny. So because of that, they actually just cannot take it. They have to move it aside. And then we just go here. And now we are down a pawn, but we are just absolutely destroying. This rook is going to get out safely. They have almost no development. This bishop sucks. King can't castle. This queen's getting ping-ponged around. I mean, if I turn on the engine for a second here. Yeah, I mean, engine, yeah, plus 4.2, 4.7. Engine absolutely loves this, and it says they should even just take the knight. So, let's go back. They will probably not play this move. They do, though. You know what to do. Now, if they go to queen to f6 or queen to c7, you're going to play the same move. You're going to play knight takes on d4. They will probably move back to d8, and at this point you're going to get this bishop out, get this rook on the c file, try and do something with this fork here. Get this queen out either to f3 or all the way to h5, and we just have these nice positions. We are so developed, and I mean, look at their pieces. They're just suffocating over here. For the price of one pawn, all they've done is move this measly little bishop around, while their queen has actually done a little diamond. How cute. So, let's go back. If they play queen to c7, we just take the pawn. And around the same stuff, bishop here, sometimes here to get this knight protected. Rook on the c file, you get the idea. If they go queen to b8, you will do the same move. However, they will now play this move. We do not want to let them get this pawn. We will play h3. If they play stuff, actually we just do the same stuff. We will try to go queen to f3 or h5. We'll try and get this bishop here to trade off. And our position is really nice. Once again, rook on the c file. Everything's great. And last but not least, if they go queen to d6, you'll actually, instead of taking this pawn, because they could just take the queen, you will go the other way to try and get over here. If they take with the bishop, you will take back. King moves, you'll go queen to f3. You'll try to get this, maybe take this pawn. Once again, rook on the c file, and they're just, this is such a depressing position for them. If I were in their position, I would probably just resign out of shame for how pathetic of a position I would have. So backing up, if they just, I don't know, if they just move, well then, you know, we just get nice development here, here. Everything is, once again, great. And in all these positions, once again, you're going to have the same ideas. Try and get this knight somewhere on here, trying to get this bishop out on this diagonal, and try and get this rook on the c file. Okay. So that's all good. Let's go back. If they play the move, if they play a6 here, the reason they play this move, prevent the knight from doing some stuff, maybe getting on this outpost. You will play the move queen to e2. It's defending this pawn, since now we actually do want to defend it. They will play knight to e7, and now we actually go queen to king to h1. The reason for this is we unpin our pawn, so that now when the knight comes over here, we go f4. Now this is very well supported. What they will play here is knight to b4. We will go rook to d1, defending our bishop. If they take, we just take back, everything's fine. If they actually know what to do and end up playing bishop to c5, which I will just say, nobody is ever in a million years going to play with this. If they play like this, they are probably cheating, and I would say you should report them right then and there, unless they're like a grandmaster, because nobody actually knows this theory, and you will never ever need to know it. However, here I am showing it to you. If they actually do play the top engine recommendation, you will take here. This opens up discover attack. That's why this is not just a free bishop. Go queen to f2. We will trade our queens. And then we wrap back around for bishop. They will take, we will take back. They will take our pawn down here. We will take, they will take. We go bishop to d2. And the future will go here, maybe here. Get on the c file. Eventually, of course. I don't want to blunder your rook. And that's all that happens in that position. And as you can see, this is move 20. Nobody is going to know this. Nobody is going to know this. If they do somehow know this, they have a slight computer advantage, and it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't, yeah, I mean, that's the moral of the story. If they actually do know this, report them for cheating. Nobody knows this. Yeah, so if I go back, that's really all you need to know in this opening. If they play anything else, same ideas. King back, king f4, pawn to f4, maybe here and here. Same ideas basically as when they go pawn to a6. I think that's all you really need to know to play this opening. Those are really the core lines. Just know what moves not to play and what plans to do, and I'm sure you're gonna have a great time playing this opening. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Let me know how the opening goes in the comments. And I will see you next time.